Hello. Welcome to M&M English Academy podcast.
In this podcast, we have real conversations in easy English to help you learn.
That's right. And if you enjoy our podcast, don't forget to share it with your friends who are learning English too.
Hi, Emily. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks, Miles. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So, what's today's conversation about?
Today, we're going to talk about jobs.
Oh, that's a really useful topic.
Yes, it is. We'll talk about different types of jobs, what we do at work, and our experiences with working.
Sounds good. So, Emily, let's start with you. What do you do for a living?
Well, as you know, I'm an English teacher. I teach English to students of different ages and levels.
That's right. And how long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for about 7 years now. I started teaching right after I finished university.
Wow, 7 years. That's quite a long time. What made you decide to become a teacher?
Well, I've always loved languages, and I really enjoy helping people learn. When I was at university, I did some volunteer teaching, and I realized that teaching was my passion.
That's lovely. So you found your passion early.
Yes, I was lucky. What about you, Miles? What do you do?
I'm also an English teacher, but I also work part-time as a translator.
That's good. We should always keep learning, even as teachers.
Absolutely. So, Emily, can you describe a typical day at work for you?
Sure. Well, I usually arrive at work around 8:30 in the morning. My first class starts at 9 o'clock.
And what do you do before your class starts?
I prepare my materials, check my lesson plans, and sometimes I have a quick cup of coffee in the staff room.
The staff room is where teachers take breaks, right?
Yes, that's right. It's a room where all the teachers can relax, have lunch, or prepare for classes.
And how many classes do you teach in a day?
It depends on the day. Some days I teach 4 classes, some days I teach 6. Each class is usually about 60 minutes long.
That's quite a lot of teaching.
Yes, it can be tiring, but I enjoy it. What about your teaching days, Miles? What are they like?
Well, I teach on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I usually teach 3 or 4 classes per day.
And are your classes all at the same level?
No, they're different levels. In the morning, I usually teach beginners, and in the afternoon, I teach intermediate or advanced students.
That's nice. It keeps things interesting, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. Although, it can be challenging to switch between levels during the day.
I understand. You have to adjust your teaching style for different levels.
Exactly. With beginners, I speak more slowly and use simpler vocabulary. With advanced students, we can have more natural conversations.
That's right. So, Miles, what about your translation work? What's that like?
Well, translation work is very different from teaching. I work from home, usually in my office.
And what kind of things do you translate?
I translate business documents, websites, and sometimes marketing materials. Most of my work is translating from Spanish to English.
That sounds interesting. Is it difficult work?
Sometimes, yes. The challenging part is not just translating words, but translating meaning and culture, too.
Oh, can you explain that a bit more?
Sure. So when you translate, you can't just translate word by word. You need to understand the context and the cultural background. Sometimes an expression in one language doesn't have a direct translation in another language.
That makes sense. So you need to be creative with your translations.
Yes, exactly. You need to find the best way to express the same idea in the other language.
That sounds like difficult work. How long does a typical translation project take?
It depends on the size of the project. A small document might take a few hours, but a large project can take several days or even weeks.
Wow. So you need to be very organized with your time.
Yes, that's right. I use a calendar to plan my work and meet my deadlines.
What's a deadline, Miles?
Good question. A deadline is the date or time when you must finish a piece of work. If you don't finish by the deadline, you're late.
Ah, yes. Deadlines are important in many jobs, aren't they?
They are. In my translation work, clients usually give me a deadline, and I must deliver the finished translation by that date.
Do you ever work overtime?
Sometimes, yes. If I have a lot of work or a tight deadline, I might work in the evenings or on weekends.
What does overtime mean, Miles?
Overtime means working more hours than your normal working hours. For example, if you normally work from 9 to 5, but you work until 7, those extra 2 hours are overtime.
I see. And do you get paid extra for overtime?
In my teaching job, no, because I'm on a salary. But with translation work, I charge by the word or by the project. So if I work more, I can earn more.
That's good. What's the difference between a salary and other ways of getting paid?
Great question. A salary is a fixed amount of money you receive every month, regardless of how many hours you work. Some people are paid an hourly wage, which means they get paid for each hour they work.
And you mentioned charging by the word or by the project for translation?
Yes, that's right. Some translators charge a certain amount per word they translate. Others prefer to charge a total amount for the whole project.
Interesting. So there are many different ways to get paid for work.
Exactly. It depends on the type of job and the agreement between the worker and the employer.
Speaking of employers, Miles, who is your employer for your teaching job?
I work for a language school here in the city. The school is my employer.
And what about your translation work?
For translation, I'm self-employed. That means I work for myself. I find my own clients and manage my own business.
So you're like your own boss.
Yes, in a way. It has advantages and disadvantages.
What are the advantages of being self-employed?
Well, I have more freedom. I can choose which projects to accept, and I can set my own schedule. I can work from anywhere I have my computer.
That sounds great. And what are the disadvantages?
The main disadvantage is that my income isn't stable. Some months I have a lot of work and earn good money, but other months are quieter.
I see. So there's less financial security?
Exactly. Also, when you're self-employed, you don't get paid holidays or sick leave.
What's sick leave?
Sick leave is when you're too ill to work, but your employer still pays you. When you're self-employed, if you don't work, you don't get paid.
That does sound challenging. What about paid holidays?
Paid holidays or a paid vacation is when you take time off work for a holiday and your employer continues to pay you.
Ah, yes, that's one of the benefits of having an employer.
Exactly. In my teaching job, I get 4 weeks of paid holiday per year.
That's nice. I get 3 weeks of paid holiday.
Do you get any other benefits from your job, Emily?
Yes, I do. My employer provides health insurance, and I also get a pension contribution.
Can you explain those terms for our listeners?
Of course. Health insurance is when your employer helps pay for your medical costs if you get sick or need to see a doctor.
And a pension?
A pension is money that you save during your working life, so you have money to live on when you retire.
What does retire mean?
Retire means to stop working, usually because you've reached a certain age. In many countries, people retire around age 65 or 67.
I see. So a pension contribution means your employer puts money into your pension savings?
Yes, exactly. My employer adds a percentage of my salary to my pension every month.
That's a good benefit. These benefits are part of your compensation package, right?
Yes, that's right. Compensation means everything you receive for your work, your salary, plus any benefits.
So, Emily, overall, do you enjoy your job?
I do. I really enjoy teaching and seeing my students improve. But like any job, it has its challenges.
What are some of the challenges?
Well, sometimes the classes are very large. With 20 or 25 students, it can be difficult to give each student individual attention.
Yes, I can imagine. Large classes are challenging.
Also, marking homework and tests takes a lot of time outside of class.
Marking means checking and grading student work, right?
Yes, exactly. Sometimes I spend several hours at home in the evening marking papers.
Do you get paid for that time?
No, it's part of my job. It's included in my salary.
I see. What about the positive aspects of your job?
There are many. I love the moment when a student understands something new. It's very rewarding.
Rewarding means it makes you feel satisfied and happy?
Yes, exactly. Even though teaching can be tiring, it's emotionally rewarding.
I agree. That's one of the reasons I enjoy teaching too.
Also, I like my colleagues. We work well together as a team.
Colleagues are the people you work with, right?
Yes, that's correct. Your colleagues are your coworkers.
Having good colleagues makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It really does. We support each other and share teaching ideas.
That's wonderful. So, Emily, let's talk about different types of jobs. We're both teachers, but there are so many other jobs out there.
Yes, that's true. Let's talk about some common jobs and what people do in those jobs.
Good idea. Let's start with jobs in an office. What are some common office jobs?
Well, there are accountants. An accountant manages money and financial records for a company.
And there are receptionists. A receptionist works at the front desk of an office, greeting visitors and answering phones.
Yes, and there are managers. A manager supervises other employees and makes decisions for their team or department.
What does supervise mean?
Supervise means to watch over and direct the work of other people.
I see. So a manager is in charge of other workers.
Yes, exactly. They're usually their boss.
What about jobs in healthcare?
Oh, there are many. There are doctors and nurses, of course.
Yes, doctors diagnose illnesses and prescribe treatment, and nurses care for patients and help doctors.
There are also dentists who take care of people's teeth.
And pharmacists who prepare and sell medicines.
That's right. And there are paramedics who provide emergency medical care and transport patients to hospitals.
Healthcare jobs are very important. What about jobs in retail?
Retail means selling products directly to customers, right?
Yes, exactly. Retail workers work in shops and stores.
So there are shop assistants or sales assistants who help customers and sell products.
There are also cashiers who take payments from customers.
And store managers who run the store and supervise the staff.
What about jobs in hospitality?
Hospitality refers to hotels, restaurants, and tourism, doesn't it?
Yes, that's right. So there are chefs who prepare food in restaurants.
And waiters or servers who serve food and drinks to customers.
There are also bartenders who prepare and serve drinks at a bar.
And hotel receptionists who check guests in and out of hotels.
What about jobs in construction?
There are builders who construct buildings.
And electricians who install and repair electrical systems.
Plumbers who install and repair water pipes and heating systems.
And architects who design buildings.
That's right. What about creative jobs, Miles?
Oh, there are lots. There are graphic designers who create visual designs for websites, advertisements, and products.
There are photographers who take professional photos.
And writers who create content for books, websites, or magazines.
Musicians who perform or create music.
And actors who perform in films, TV shows, or theater.
What about jobs in transportation?
There are taxi drivers and bus drivers who transport people.
Truck drivers who transport goods.
Pilots who fly airplanes.
And train drivers who operate trains.
There are so many different types of jobs.
Yes, there are. And each job requires different skills and training.
That's right. Emily, let's talk about the process of getting a job. What do you need to do to get a job?
Well, first, you need to find job openings. These are positions that companies are trying to fill.
How do people find job openings?
There are many ways. You can look on job websites, check company websites, or sometimes jobs are advertised in newspapers.
And once you find a job you're interested in, what do?
You need to apply for the job. This means sending your application to the company.
What's included in a job application?
Usually you need to send a CV or resume and a cover letter.
Can you explain what those are?
Sure. A CV or resume is a document that lists your work experience, education, and skills.
And a cover letter?
A cover letter is a letter you write to introduce yourself and explain why you want the job and why you're a good candidate.
I see. So you send these documents to the company, and then what happens?
If the company is interested in you, they will invite you to an interview.
An interview is a meeting where the employer asks you questions about yourself and your experience, right?
Yes, exactly. It's an opportunity for the employer to get to know you better and see if you're right for the job.
And it's also an opportunity for you to ask questions about the job and the company.
That's right. It's important to prepare questions for your interview.
What kinds of questions do employers usually ask in interviews?
They often ask about your previous work experience, your strengths and weaknesses, and why you want to work for their company.
They might also ask about specific skills related to the job.
Yes, and they might ask hypothetical questions like, what would you do in this situation?
After the interview, what happens?
The company will decide whether to offer you the job. If they want to hire you, they'll make you a job offer.
A job offer is when a company officially invites you to work for them?
Yes, that's right. The job offer usually includes information about your salary, benefits, and start date.
And if you accept the offer, you become an employee of the company.
Exactly. Then you usually have an induction or orientation period when you first start.
What's that?
An induction or orientation is a period when you learn about the company, meet your colleagues, and receive training for your new role.
I see. So it helps new employees settle into their jobs.
Yes, exactly. Miles, what advice would you give to someone looking for a job?
That's a good question. I think the most important thing is to be prepared. Research the company before your interview.
That's good advice. What else?
Make sure your CV is clear, well-organized, and free of mistakes.
Yes, presentation is important. Also, dress professionally for your interview.
That's right. First impressions matter. What about during the interview itself?
Be confident, but also be honest. Don't pretend to have skills or experience you don't have.
Good point. And be enthusiastic. Show that you really want the job.
Yes, employers want to hire people who are motivated and eager to work.
Also, don't forget to follow up after the interview. You can send a thank you email.
What's a follow-up?
Following up means contacting someone again after a previous interaction. In this case, sending a polite email to thank the interviewer for their time.
That's a nice touch. It shows professionalism.
Exactly. Emily, let's talk about job satisfaction. What makes people happy in their jobs?
I think there are several factors. First, doing work that you find interesting and meaningful.
Yes, if you enjoy what you do, you'll be happier at work.
Also, having a good work-life balance is important.
What's work-life balance?
Work-life balance means having enough time for both your job and your personal life. If you work too much, you don't have time for family, hobbies, or relaxation.
That's true. Overworking can lead to stress and burnout.
What's burnout?
Burnout is a state of physical and emotional exhaustion caused by working too hard for too long.
I see. So it's important to take breaks and holidays?
Absolutely. What else contributes to job satisfaction?
Having good relationships with colleagues and managers is important.
Yes, a positive work environment makes a big difference.
Also, feeling appreciated and recognized for your work.
That's true. Everyone wants to feel that their work is valued.
And having opportunities for career development and progression.
What does that mean?
Career development means learning new skills and improving in your job. Career progression means moving up to higher positions with more responsibility.
So, having the chance to get promoted.
Yes, exactly. A promotion is when you move to a higher position in the company.
Of course, salary is also important for job satisfaction.
Yes, earning a fair wage for your work is important.
But research shows that once people earn enough to live comfortably, other factors become more important than money.
That's interesting. So, job satisfaction isn't just about how much you earn?
No, it's about many different factors working together.
Miles, we've talked a lot about jobs today. Let's recap some of the important vocabulary we've used.
Good idea. Let's start with some types of employment.
We talked about being employed, which means working for an employer.
And being self-employed, which means working for yourself.
And we also mentioned working part-time, which means working fewer hours than a full-time job.
And full-time, which usually means working around 40 hours per week.
We talked about overtime, which means working extra hours beyond your normal schedule.
And shift work, which means working at different times, like morning shifts, evening shifts, or night shifts.
What other vocabulary did we cover?
We talked about salary, a fixed monthly payment.
And wages, which are usually paid weekly or by the hour.
We discussed benefits, like health insurance and pensions.
We mentioned deadlines, the time when work must be finished.
And colleagues, the people you work with.
We talked about applying for a job and going to an interview.
We discussed your CV or resume and cover letter.
We mentioned getting a promotion and having career progression.
And we talked about work-life balance and burnout.
We also discussed job satisfaction and what makes people happy at work.
That's quite a lot of vocabulary.
It is. Jobs and work are such important parts of our lives.
Absolutely. Most people spend a large portion of their lives working.
That's why it's so important to find work that you enjoy and that gives you satisfaction.
I agree. Of course, not everyone is lucky enough to have their dream job.
That's true. But I think if you work hard and keep learning, you can improve your career over time.
Definitely. And remember, it's never too late to change careers if you're unhappy in your current job.
That's good advice, Miles. Many people successfully change careers later in life.
Exactly. The important thing is to keep developing your skills and stay open to new opportunities.
Well, I think that's a good place to end our conversation about jobs.
Yes, I think so too. We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. I hope our listeners found this conversation useful.
Me too. Remember, if you want to improve your English, practice is very important.
That's right. Try to use these new words and phrases in your own conversations.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Making mistakes is part of learning.
Absolutely. The more you practice, the better you'll become.
Thanks for listening to M&M English Academy podcast.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode about jobs. Keep practicing your English, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.